Drow Ranger.
It is Radiant Span. Seconds. 5 seconds. 'Dire's turn to battle. 10 seconds. 5 seconds remain. Radiant's turn to ban. 10 seconds remain. 5 seconds. 'Dire must choose.
I was thinking Mars for Team NIGMA. I'm surprised they banned it, because that's another classic mind control one. There's not a lot of offlaners left, because both teams have been banning out offlaners consistently. So it could be something like a Centaur. We're in an interesting world of offlaners.
The Timber is still available, right? Like,
I don't think you want to play that in
no stuns.
Phoenix.
Yeah, true. The break. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, you don't really have the stuns. Oh, there's the Timber. Hey.
What do I know? What do I know? I'm just bad.
I did it. No, it's fine. Don't worry. But you are right though in regards to the idea of like the Timber. It doesn't feel great for the big picture point of the game. There's the break on the Hoodwink, the Phoenix Sunray, all this stuff. It's not good for great. But the first 15 to 20 minutes, this hero will pop off, and that's why the Drow, the Ench, these heroes play with that. They're kind of fully subscribing to popping off, not playing for late, and that's why I kind of like the idea of Timber. But again, I can see Sheik's kind of concerns with the hero as well.
What you were talking about a lot when you were, sorry to interrupt, but what you were talking about a lot when you introduced this draft of what you wanted from Team NIGMA was stuns. They've got one stun properly here. How do you feel about this draft as we see that spirit we were predicting?
I don't quite like it, but if we're going by what T says, that they're just going to run at you really fast, I think their lineup fulfills that without needing all this great pick-off. I think if they get into this mid to late game, they're going to struggle a lot. They don't have anything to protect this Drow going further into the game. So it will get rough for NIGMA, but if they are good enough to execute this type of draft, so I think, you know, they can still put up a good fight.
Okay, T, do you think Team NIGMA are good enough to execute this, or are you predicting a hellbear's win?
If they bring Ench Nyx to mid lane and prevent Storm from having good time farming jungle farming lane, offset his time, I can see NIGMA winning this. If Storm has a decent game, has 1 or 2 items, when NIGMA's pushing for high ground, they are eventually going to fall flat to one of those pickoffs, and I think hellbear Smashers should be able to take this going later. So all emphasis on how they shut down the mid lane right now from NIGMA.
Right, well, can Team NIGMA run away from it, or is it coming home for hellbear Smashers? I'm going to hand over to the sumptuous sounds of Cinderin and Sunsfan.
Sumptuous, wow. We're going to have a new word every time, huh? You're going to Google every word that you actually know the definition beforehand?
Splendid and expensive looking. Yeah, I mean, this shirt is, that's
I did have a lot of work on my face. I will say that, so technically very true.
And more to go.
Yeah, a lot. We need liposuction necks just for the neck area. But yeah, we have game 2 of this best of 3 Cinder and Hellbear Smashers versus Team NIGMA. NIGMA are the heavy favorites, I would say. I don't know if that's going too far. They lost game 1. Of course, the panel talked about the Smashers. They have been known to win a game and then lose the rest. Are you expecting a similar result here today?
I like their strategy. Again, I think, like the panel again pointed out, there's one stun in the Nyx. If the Nyx doesn't get to thrive and shut down a lot, you have a Storm Spirit on the enemy team with a lot of space. And I do, again, feel like it's not the same in one, aside from the fact that they only have this one hero with a stun, because this time I think NIGMA are playing a faster tempo than last game. Last game they were farming a lot with their gyro, with their TA, with their tide. This time they're offering and being a Timbersaw can put a lot more pressure on the map and play higher tempo than a tide can. Just lower cooldowns, earlier power spike. So that's definitely good for them, but I don't know. I'm still not sold. I need to see it in action. I need to see NIGMA put their pedal to the metal and really get something done here early on. And if there's one hero Kuro, like, let's think back to the major. There's one hero where Kuro pops off, it's Ench. So we had that game where he went like 7-0 in the first, I want to say 10 minutes.
I think he got an ultra kill that game, if I'm not mistaken.
He was very, very powerful.
We'll see if he has a similar result this time around. But for the Smasher side, shout out to the guy that tweeted at me. Really appreciate you. The correct pronunciation is Borania.
I got another tweet.
Did you? And?
Yes, which says both are correct. It can either be Borania or Borania, depending on which accent you use. He thinks it's probably Borania because of a big N in the name.
Yes.
And it means green beans.
Great. I'm not a big fan of
green beans.
Are you a fan of green beans?
Yeah, they're actually pretty good. I do like green beans.
Good for you. I'm glad you like something in life.
But I don't like celery, so when Viking are playing later, we can hate on that.
I love celery. I mean, I like the player celery. Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm on the same train as you. As we're going to see a split of the bounties. There's absolutely zero action. I feel like we've been seeing less action in the last month for the level 1 bounties. I don't know if it's just me. Remember when it was first implemented with nighttime, we started seeing like these first bloods every single game, basically. It feels like it's kind of died off a bit. Why do you think that is?
Denied! Good question. I guess if you do stack on bounties, you do run the risk of, well, what if the enemy team just isn't there? Then you end up trading regardless, but your heroes now have to cross the entire map to get to their lanes, or use a TP, which is a very valuable resource. So I think a lot of the times maybe players are just looking at like the risk-reward. If we stack the rune, does it matter? And if we don't stack, the maximum amount of heroes we can realistically send to a rune is 3. Because if we send any more, we're either not blocking mid or we're not in our other side lane. So, yeah, I guess it's just like a natural progression of it. There are still some level 1 smokes pulled off, but I feel like they often find the kill before the bounties rather than on them.
There you go.
What do you think of this setup as
Tofu's super dead.
Tofu getting completely blocked out, and that is the first blood for NIGMA. I was going to ask, what do you think of it started as ILTW and GH in this lane, Hiroki coming in. No backstab there, but what are your thoughts on the laning setup for...
I think it's perfect for NIGMA. This is what you want. It's such a good top lane for Timbersaw against Dragon Knight +1. They don't have enough damage between Hoodwink and DK to realistically kill Mind Control, and as soon as he gets level 3, he'll just thrive here. He's just gonna farm. And in the meantime, this bottom lane of Smashers will struggle because Terrorblade, while he would be decent against the dual lane here, the tri-lane factor just makes him too susceptible, and he has to always be scared when Enchantress is missing and trying to find a flank. Koro's actually going to elect to go mid here with a Satyr Tormentor. This would be a very unexpected gank for Borania.
Borania is very low right now. You can see the Hellbear, the Shockwave comes out, the blocks to continue with his own wave contributing to it. Has to stop the Fairy Fire, but in the end, Naruto gets, actually it's Kuroki, gets the kill with the Satyr.
Classic Koro.
Very sad indeed, as we're going to see another kill in the combo. Wow. Okay, so each lane, there's a kill for NIGMA. Good start.
I don't know how valuable that kill was for Mind Control. He lost a full wave of creeps that Rasmus is holding at the tower, so I'm gonna chalk that death up to honestly being a trade.
Radiant scan.
You see Rasmus coming out here. They're playing a dual lane, and Rasmus has the same experience as Mind Control right now. So that means all of that experience on Hoodwink is just extra. So they are winning the lane. It's an overall experience gain, but still nice for Mind Control to find a kill, of course. But he does have the 2 CS to the 12 of Dragon Knight. They're definitely, you know...
That is true. I mean, there's a certain point where Timbersaw, once you get level 4, I assume, and it's basically unkillable, at least in most matchups. Is that pretty consistent with this one, or is it a little bit different?
Usually you will go 1-0-2 or 0-1-2, so you get the 2 in reactive on level 3, but he skills the Timber Chain to find that kill on the Hoodwink. So yeah, he's delaying the immortality almost in the lane to level 4, like you said, and he's grabbing that now. I think... Honestly, I like this from Gilger. Like, if Rasmus has this good of a start on the Dragon Knight that he can 1v1 in this lane and just farm, Gilger can try to deal with the pressure elsewhere on the map. And by moving after Kuro, he's essentially giving Terrorblade farm bot. By the way, it's doing great. Ace has 16 for 9 on the Terrorblade after Kuro started bot for that tri-lane action. And of course, when he rotated mid for that kill, you open up the space for mid, but still, yeah. Smash is doing long lanes.
Well, mid lane, I mean, Miracle obviously, well, he didn't technically get the kill, but he has double the CS right now over Bornea in this mid lane. TA versus
Huge
Storm.
advantage from that Inch King.
That helped quite a bit.
Ace bot. Ace is dead.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that last right click, not quite enough, but Kuroki is in the vicinity. Ace does have a TP available. We'll use it, go to the tier 1. It could be successful in doing so. Gilger, in the meantime, does get up a nice bushwhack, so they do see 3 members of NIGMA here. And Salvan Ace will put them safe. So that was extremely close, but I mean, it's not a good matchup in general with Kuro having that level of impetus. Any magic or pure damage against this hero. Timbersaw obviously great against Terrorblade at certain points of the game. I mean, what do you think of the hero in general in this game? It was a 4th pick, I believe, right, from the Smashers.
Honestly, a lot of the time when it comes to later in the game for Terrorblade, I think one of the biggest threats to him is getting stunned. Like, that's when you can't get your Sunder off, and you can get bursted 100 to 0. It's hard to see NIGMA pull that off in this game in one Nyx stun. They probably need all of TA, Timber, and Drow to be able to connect once Ace has a couple of items. So I think it's a good Terrorblade game later on. But for now, obviously some of the counters are definitely very much in play, like you said, the Enchantress.
Stupendous.
The Drow is pretty good in lane against Terrorblade, especially when she reaches level 6. At that point, Ace might just go jungle anyway.
Radiant should look to their base.
You talked about it just now, and the panel kind of talked about earlier as well, the fact that the lack of stun from NIGMA again, like 2 games in a row. Is this just something they're, like, obviously when you have a lesser stuns on your side, it's harder to execute, generally speaking. But is it just something they're really comfortable with? Like, is this like a planned thing? It just happens to be heroes that they want to play that just don't have stuns? Are we just overstating this fact that they have lack of stuns in general?
It's better this time because Nyx's stun is not Ravage, right? It's a lower cooldown, so you have it more frequently, and you do have the secondary stunning Carapace as
bot lane. Toku's dead. Actually gonna dive all the way around 360. Beautifully done, but no LPW getting blocked up by Gilger. In the meantime, Ace has that metamorphosis, so they're able to clean him up. Very high value kill for Smashers.
That was great for Smashers bottom lane, getting a 2 for 1. Under those conditions, the Phoenix got jumped and they immediately just popped the metamorphosis and traded right back. But yeah, just to follow up on the stuns, I don't think that's like a plan they have going into the game. That they're like, hey guys, let's not pick stuns in this series. Like, I don't.
Maybe they have a
like a really weird way of strategizing. Yeah, it sounds like a weird way of strategizing, but yeah, I'm still feeling like they should have at least one more hero that has lockdown. I feel like just having Nyx is hard. It's still better than just having Tide. Unless, so here's where the last game's lineup, this is a little bit of a tangent, I guess, but in the last game, to put it simply, a lot of the time if you have very few stuns, but the stun you do have is a big teamfight one, it can work very well if you can force the enemy team to come fight you at towers, right? Then that's your quote-unquote catch, is that you go to towers and they need to defend. But what were their cores in last game? It was TA and Gyro. It wasn't like a Dragon Knight or a Terrorblade that's going to smash that tower so you have to come and fight into the Ravage. So I do think that there was a bit of a disconnect there. Those are the games where I like the one stun Tide kind of.
No.
Did that make sense?
Yes, the very long tangent made a lot of sense. I mean, they do have the Centaur Stomp failed to mention, obviously, Enchantress will be valuing that.
Gonna have that all game.
Very respectable creep, of course. You just got to put in the gold, and you will get that creep that you want every time. But in addition, you talk about Nyx Assassin. We've been seeing Aghanim Scepter like every single freaking game on this hero, and it has had huge impact on games. As GH is going to find a stun onto Gilgar in the meantime, but there's a TP out, and like you said, no stuns after that Impale without that Centaur in tow.
It's still good though. Like, yeah, he doesn't die, but they force him away, and this is now a naked tower that nobody's getting experience at. Obviously, the Hoodwink wants to sit there and just leech, so it's kind of a pseudo kill, forcing the TP back to base, because it's not going to waste. And Terrorblade has decided to leave the lanes. That is really far up here.
He was trying to apply some pressure to this tier 1, but NIGMA are here in numbers, and then we're going to see the Spike Carapace set up another stun, but it's not quite enough to take out Toast. In the meantime, Bornea trying to finish off Miracle. The Ace has made his way onto
No mana on
the
Mind
field
Control
as well. And Mind Control not able. He has Soul Ring in 3 seconds, and he will be saved by his team as Bornea has to use basically the rest of his mana pool just to get out of the right-click range here. I mean, this is something we didn't talk about from NIGMA's side. Between the TA, eventually, obviously, and the Drow, they have some major push potential.
Miracle's hungry. Oh, a nice juke from Tofu. Very nice.
It's going to be found out here, though. Gets the bushwhack off in the meantime. It's going to break things up, so no deaths in the mid lane.
I have not seen many jukes around that tree. This is obviously one of the newer features of the map, but very nice. He completely tricks Miracle, who was honestly very kill hungry there, and I understand. He has double damage and felt invincible, so he went for it.
He had not trouble. Impales there, but the zip away. Ultra shot not quite enough. Is now they're going to apply all the pressure to this tier 1 tower. Smashers, they can only delay the inevitable, it seems. This tower is definitely dead now.
Loving this from NIGMA. It's exactly what their lineup wants to do. Use the Timber Sauce Power Spike, use the Enchantress to get this early pressure. Getting mid tower sub 10 is very good against Dragon Knight. He will usually be pushing your mid tower and forcing you to defend. You instead just killed him and did the reverse. Immediate Uno reverse play.
Wow, I haven't played that in a while. You a big Uno player?
No.
Okay,
We'll talk.
That's the best segment I've ever. We should add that to the podcast, I think. It's bottom lane, GH. And this is one thing about the Spike Carapace against a Phoenix type hero. You get those Fire Spirits out, it's going to be a pretty much guaranteed stun. Radman's getting pressure in the meantime. Top lane by Mind Control. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana to speak of, and only a couple right clicks done to this tower. Although he's at half HP, but Kroki's here now. A couple right clicks with that impetus. Just trying to pressure Rasmus out so he doesn't get the tier 1 in one go.
Wasting Dragon Forms is really the name of the game for NIGMA here. They want to stay ahead on towers, so their biggest problem for the Dragon Knight is literally just how do I get through Timber? His team can't really kill him right now. This is nice from Rasmus. He's gonna cut through. He sees Timber at the front. He's gonna go hit the tower around the side and back off. Getting whatever chip damage he can. But once again, Dragon Form is now down, and he has yet to take the tower at 11 minutes on this DK. Job well done for NIGMA.
Indeed. Now in useless human form, gets off the Dragon Tail, but that'll be the end of his reign for another 50 seconds. Bornea working on an Orchid. That's gonna be his first item. Has the 1 Oblivion staff right now.
I like that. They should rename the ability. Like powerful Dragon Form and useless to really, for new players, as a way of understanding how to play their hero.
Maybe it's unlocked with the new Persona, which Rasmus does not have, sadly. Make the hero even easier to play. We got another Dragon Tail here. Maybe we can just call that stun, right? Yeah. Give him the Slardar treatment. Ace is in the vicinity, along with Gilgar here. Bushwhack not able to connect on the Sharpshooter, will be in the blind. We'll end up whiffing there. Another stun from Rasmus. He's going to get pressure now. Mind Control gets off the Chakram. Pretty really careful here.
By the way, for Gilgar to get the Ironwood tree 2 games in a row.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It is so good on Hoodwink, so.
Do you think that there's a percentage? We're actually going to find GH. He's going to get zipped on as well. There is a sentry in the vicinity. And this is going to be an easy cleanup. So now you know if it's sentry there, but it costs him a death. What if the percentages of neutral items, and we didn't even know about it, just went up by X% if you're playing a specific hero.
Yeah. What if?
What if that was already in the game for the last 2 years and we don't even know it? That'd be crazy.
There are tools that are stat tracking, right? I feel like that would become an anomaly at some point. If you look at the stats for every game played.
Stats lie. I don't know if you've heard this. It's a very common thing.
Stats are a lie. Correct.
Absolutely. Mind control. All right. Reflection is there. Timber chain to the other side. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana. Bushwhack is going to connect into the Metamorphosis, into the Zip as well, and the Sharpshooter just to make sure they're able to take out that pesky Timber Saw. Now the tier 1 tower. Rasmus finally able to finish this off. So, like you said, it took 13 and a half minutes.
Dire's top tower
It's looking great. I think Gilgar's doing a very good job at just playing the... I think the biggest strength of Hoodwink in the first 15 to 20 minutes is just this ability to just be kind of a, it's an assassin. It's kind of playing like Nyx, that it's coming out of trees where you don't expect it. Even if you have vision in the lanes, you can still get flanked somehow out of an angle you didn't think about, and just sets up that nice stun burst combo similar to what Nyx does. So,
Right.
it is, I think the ranged Nyx sounds pretty powerful to me.
Yeah, I would say so. The melee hero. Tier 1 tower getting pressured in the bot lane. Looks like it's going to go down. The question is, can Tofu deny? He actually had the opportunity, but wants to stay in the shadows right now. Borania. This is another target from GH perspective. You can get up an easy spike carapace setup as long as there's a teammate nearby.
Yeah, you need TA near
static.
He has haste on Miracle. Oh, Borania.
Yeah, things have kind of settled down a bit now that these couple tier 1 towers have been taken out. If you're just joining us, the Hellbear Smashers are actually up 1-0, similar to what the Suns are in the NBA Finals versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay, good spoiler.
In case you weren't keeping up on the NBA news. GH, that was not Vendetta. That got smoked up. That's the jump in. Okay, Sharpshooter's actually not going to connect, so no break onto the Timber Saw here. Ooh, this could be a big stun. GH looking for the Impale. Only going to connect on one, but it's a very important hero. The Gusset is there as well, and an easy cleanup for Team NIGMA. Looks like Gilgar will be next on the menu for Mr. Miracle. Double kill for him. It's going to be a tier 1 tower as well.
Miracle is insanely farmed. 10 CS a minute. He's going to go straight to Roche in these 20 seconds. I think they're going to grab this as well. So, huge swoop here from NIGMA on that move. Getting the Gust on Storm too. So, it's a nice Orchid coming out from Borania, but he was already stunned. And then he's take for LTW to land that Gust. And we'll give this Aegis more than likely over to Miracle so he can keep the ball rolling. A little dagger within the next minute and a half or so. Getting the last hit on Roach with the bonus gold. It's pretty concerning for Smashers right now. I think compared to the last game, the position that they're in with their lineup, it feels like the pressure is mounting a lot more. Where NIGMA were sitting back in game 1, they're really just fighting them a lot. Using the Timber Saw and the Nyx.
Bottom lane, GH gets off the initiation, but the egg is there from Tofu. I thought they had enough damage for sure, but instead it's going to be a cleanup crew onto GH. ILTW dies on the other side of the map in the meantime. Was that the Orchid reveal? I believe so. So it's a 2-for-0 across the map for Smashers. Wow.
should look to their bottom.
Not expecting that.
All I can think about is Rom. Tofu? Egg from tofu? It's like, should really...
Yeah, that would have been a good name
like
for Rasmus, maybe. By the way, I got the heads up from T-Gov on the lore behind Rasmus's name. Obviously, it's his first name. We already knew that.
Yeah.
Apparently, you were correct in the fact that he thought Misery was too depressing. So he changed it to his first name. And then the reason that the A and the S are capitalized is because he thought it looked cool. That's literally it. That is the greatest lore of any name.
I think you should capitalize the last S as well, so it's A. So that's kind of, I think that's, and that's very...
I'm not sure if he's close with Tuga, but that could be another discussion entirely. Is this double stack? He's going to be found here from Team NIGMA. He'll be able to clean it up pretty easily now that Miracle has the
dagger coming up. I think it's really go time for NIGMA here. You want to put pressure. Now that you have the dagger on TA, you are way less reliant on Nyx's catch to get on top of specific heroes. The TA can basically two-shot Phoenix, two-shot Hoodwink, you need to have pretty quick reactions on these heroes to get away in time if there's literally anything else connecting on you than the TA. You just die so fast. You're gonna see Soper here, he's in a trap. Let's see if Miracle tries for it. With a good sidestep around the trees here. Really fortunate timing, actually. But there's the third attack coming in.
The Yules gives him a little bit of extra time, and he's actually salving on top of it.
Sideblade. Oh, that looked spicy for a moment.
Sideblade did clip him, so the salve gets canceled. He lives!
How is that even a hit?
That was pretty far range.
Did you fall out of the maze?
Trap out, yeah, they're scared. Courier was killed on the Miracle side not too long ago. Has the Deso blink like you talked about the Dragon Eyes, and ILTW dies again. They're gonna focus on 8 here. Sunder is available, but the stun just in time from GH, so position 1 for position 1. Now the chase is on. They're still living.
One on NIGMA's team. It's not ILTW this game. I think it's another guy.
Yeah, that's true.
He's very hungry, and he will find more food. 1, 2, 3. Not enough for
the
3
rainbow. Rainbows have never hurt so much. Bushwhack only going to connect on 1. Gilgert trying to use his ult to create a little bit of extra distance, but the triple kill from Miracle, pretty extended. This was over the span of a minute. But he is
net worth
on another level right now.
He is 4,000 net worth ahead of the next hero, and NIGMA have a 1k lead. So this is one of those games where it's I'm not going to say it's miracle against the world, because that's like making it sound like the teammates are doing nothing, but you have so much net worth on one specific hero that is notorious for being snowbally and being susceptible in some cases. If hellbear smashers identify that the gold is sitting the way it is, killing Miracle just wins them fights, because there's not enough in the tank from the rest of the lineup with how much he has taken out of the bank. It's a very, very good target for hellbear smashers going forward here. Managed to block that down. And he is very killable, right? He's playing without BKB, they don't have a save in their team. So if he gets caught by, say, a Storm, or a Dragon Tail, or by a Hoodwink Bushwhack, I think they can 100-0 him relatively easily, actually.
Yep, I agree. Well, right now they can't because he has Aegis, but after
that's why they're playing Circus.
And as a result of this aggressiveness, the tier 2 tower looks to be basically dead. Bononia is in the vicinity.
Scanning for enemies.
Sporting off the Kaya right now. But yeah, looks like it's going to be a freebie. This is essentially what Aegis will get you. Outer towers at the very least. Not sure if NIGMA actually want to force a fight.
Radiant's courier makes the ultimate.
Or if hellbear smashers will even try to fight at this stage. As you talked about the BKB, Miracle is 700 away from finishing it. So he is gigantic.
There's a lot of good items coming out. Terrorblade is close to his BKB as well. 1k off. Got the shard coming up for Phoenix in 50. They're actually choosing to smoke right before they get the shard. Dragon Knight could buy his Sanj, but he's holding on to buyback Rasmus. See if they do find anything with the smoke. The biggest pick possible is Miracle. Aegis has expired, so this is the reason they're smoking. And they're gonna see him on the wave. This is such a good move. He's dead. He doesn't have dagger.
Into the Dragon Tail, Sunray to follow, and yeah, this is an easy one. That is
even 600 bounty on Ace. Perfect for them. Gilger, best efforts to kill steal there with Sharpshooter, but it was a little bit too slow. And unfortunately for him, the gold goes to his carry, who's more likely to win the game with that gold. So
yeah, real shame. Real crying shame.
Is under attack.
That's going to be BKB coming out for Ace now before the BKB of Miracle. Because of this one kill, it just swings the balance that much. And that's a key item for hellbear smashers, I think, in order to contest the Roche. So you might be like, why is Terrorblade choosing to go for BKB when he's literally only against the Nyx stun and a Gust? But the damage mitigation against Timbersaw is just huge. It allows him to stand his ground in the fights. He has a lot of armor against the TA, so he'll survive that in BKB. And against the Drow, he should also be able to handle it.
And the Lotus basically stopped his initiation to start things out, but it's not going to matter. GH is done. Mind control looks to be next to ILTW on the high ground with the Gust, and they just blow up Borania and Rasmus thanks to Miracle's right clicks and make it a third. Ace takes a tumble, and just like that, Team NIGMA take a firm grip on this game. They even find a fourth in the backline here for Mind Control. And we talked about this, Cinderin, if there's no Roche, you can get buildings super fast with a Drow and a super farmed TA. This
that
is gonna
looked
hurt.
really good for hellbear. I completely understand why they went for that. Oh, they're gonna get Gilgir here as well.
True. Alright, the scurry being of some use, but delays it.
So they found the kill on Nyx, right? And they see Timber, and they feel like they're in a really good position. Miracle response comes back in, and he just two-shots them with Drower. Like, that one side blade, I think, took 30 or 40% of Dragon Knight's health while he was hitting the Storm. They just vanished completely. And that is scary. Obviously, Storm's still susceptible to being gusted. I'm not completely sold on his item build of going Orchid Bloodstone here, because I think when you look at how their lineup functions, if Storm has the freedom to jump, the rest of the team can follow up so easily. So I would have personally liked the BKB here out of Borania, just so he can ignore Gust and ignore the Nyx and just be like, oh, I see a target I want, I can go. They're never going to stop me, but he is obviously very susceptible to that Gust, which has killed him twice this game now. And ILTW has even elected to go for a Shadow Blade just to find more Gusts, I think, against this hero.
Wow, he is. This is the pub build from Dota 1. Of course, Dragonlance didn't exist back then, but the Lothar's sniper / drow meta. I don't know if you were that. That was a disgusting period in Dota history, a very dark time in our history.
It really was a disgusting time in Dota history. I remember Techies was my favorite hero.
Oh my god.
Those were my dark years.
Is that actually true? Tofu is going to get spotted out. The silence is there. Miracle. Yeah, that Roche was the first Roche, right?
Yes.
So Miracle bought his shard, actually. That's pretty cool. So gets the silence on the trap.
I think, yeah, they want the silence on traps against Storm, and if they do fire the second Roach, they're going to give it to Timber Song. Oh, they got the jump on Miracle.
He's in a bit of trouble here, but mind control in vicinity. Warning is already used half a big bushwhack on the 2. Initiation Sharpshooter is going to be connected, but it's on the Timber side. They really want Miracle past the BKB. He dies anyway. Now Shotgun on the 2 with the Gust on the sideline. ILTW with that Lothar is going to use the full effect. He's going to get 2 boards out of this. The Thunder comes through though from Ace and the BKB. That is a dead Drow range. GH looks to be next, despite Carapace not in time because of the BKB timing there. Triple kill for Ace. Huge fight. Smash it. Did cost him a buyback though.
Why is everyone tipping Ace? That was Gilgir getting a dream stun. They're all just tipping Ace. He literally set that whole thing up with a double stun on Timber as well as TA.
Oh, and Roche
leads into Roche. This is so big for them. Again though, you gotta say, I think Borania got dusted again. Isn't that what happened? I think he got dusted and killed for a 3rd time in a row now. He's still
dropped out of his Shadow Blade and into a Gust. Yeah, we're gonna see the Bushwhack again. Gilder has been absolute god tier on this hero, by the way. I know some of it's set up with the Ironwood tree, so RNG there, but Tofu, okay, he has his egg, so not in that much trouble, really. Just trying to delay things here is Team NIGMA. Mind control. He might just jump in. The egg is there with the Sun Ray coming through. He picks up the short on top of all of it, and Kuroki is getting bursted down. Eventually, the egg connects. Finally, and it looks like Timbersaw's next on the menu. 5 versus 1, essentially. The buyback onto Kuro, but will this matter? I mean, the 2 cores are available. 2K network lead for NIGMA. Roche at basically 1/3 HP. They're going to jump in the Miracle, but there's the Gust of all. A huge Bushwhack again! Onto 2! Can they kill Miracle? Gets all the refraction just in time. Borania trying to do enough right-click damage, but Miracle with the BKB can't sustain it. Buyback is available, though, on this Storm Spirit. The BKBs are gone. Ace has to pop his BKB, gets that Sunder off onto Kuro. This will be a dieback onto him if he's not careful. Phoenix jumps in as well. Has already used basically everything. Has to be careful as Ace needs to get this kill before Tofu takes a tumble. That is a dieback onto Kuro.
Mind control holding his the whole time, not buying back for this fight. They do have the outpost, so he could have TP'd in. But instead now they're giving ground to Smashers who... There's no BKB on the TA. I think going in this Miracle here is really difficult. You just get Dragon Tailed and you're in trouble. He gets forced away here like this from Rasmus as long as he stays alive. Still not doing
they just don't have the damage. Now that meta is down, they just have to... This is going to be one of those stalemates, I feel like. 15 seconds on Storm. Does have buyback. Oh my god, he might have to... I don't know. The Roach will get decimated by NIGMA for sure. They are now in the pit. 5 seconds on Storm. He could basically zip from base. But now they forced him out of the pit, so he'll have time to just TP back normally. This is a huge turning point here, potentially.
They do have meta, and they do have Dragon Form. Actually, everything except Sunder is ready. It's 10 seconds again.
Jump on the Hoodwink. They'll get that kill after that, but he's going to have to buy back in the game. But they get Rasmus in the end, and now the silence off of Boromia has to zip away. He did find IOW in the end. Pretty big kill as well. So essentially, it's a drow for a Dragon Knight, if you want to look at it that way. Ace has already popped the meta. Now he's almost forced to go for this Roche. Enigma just need to try to delay this as long as possible. It's already half duration on meta. They got the troll in the meantime. Miracle, he's ready to go. I don't know if they can take this Roche anymore. So,
I think they want to try to find a pick, but they've lost their Dragon Knight, so the guy who has to go in is the Storm, and he's a bit worried about committing, I think.
yeah,
So
for
we're
sure.
gonna steal a tier B illusion here.
Ace's meta is almost done. Ooh, this is risky business right here, my friend. Chakram gonna scout those down. A lot of damage being done. Too low chance. Pop into his melee form. There's the angle on the side lane into the Sunray as well. Roshan is taken out by the Smash. Michael gets stunned in the meantime. Boromia picks up the Aegis. Not sure who gets the shard and cheese. We'll have to look at that a little bit later as Miracle pops his BKB with the refraction. Boromia hasn't popped the Bloodstone to try to stay alive here. Tofu finally taken out in the end. Say 1-for-1 to start things out. Borneo with basically no mana to speak of. They just need to get the hell out of here. But the Impale, mana burn, right clicks. That is the Aegis down. He's going to be full mana, full HP now. GH getting some with another Bushwhack. Spike Carapace is there. But there's the Guts from the side of LTW showing himself from the shadows. That Shadow Blade. Borneo, this is going to be a second death for him after the Aegis. And Rasmus even popped his Dragon Form and died right after he respawned. Now Ace, he's going to get forced down by the right click. It's too much to handle from Team Nigma's side. Holy Jesus, what the hell was this fight? Good lord.
Yeah, I don't even
cheese.
know where to start with this. Yeah, so
Right,
they have
Shard
the cheese.
is on TB right now.
Yeah, and he also got the cheese. He used the cheese in that final fight, very clutch, but it wasn't enough. But he used it at like 5% health against that mixed TA combo. But again, man, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but every time I look at Storm, he's lost. Like, he was again and again. He's just dying to this.
Good news, he's going for BKB now.
Yeah, he is. It is kind of late after you lost the lane of Barracks, but I honestly think that could be what it takes them to swing the game around. Nice run here from Pilgrim, but Nigma will do a great job here at punishing and getting this mid lane of Barracks after that fight. Like you said, though, it's all over the place, and really, I do think Nigma's biggest advantage right now is we've been harping on the Storm BKB. Dragon Knight is close to his as well, but he also doesn't have it yet. So this Timbersaw Nyx combo are just finding kills on heroes that they will struggle so much more to find very, very soon.
Keep you safe.
But for the time being, big win for Nigma here. This might sound weird, but they have a 6k gold lead right now, right? And then the last fight, I think it was 1. If these two BKBs complete, I think the fight will be harder for Nigma than before, even with 6k gold more. Just because these BKBs really just changed the dynamic of the fight. Oh, they found him again!
Oh my goodness. 70 seconds, he has buyback. And now that they've taken this tier 2 bot, they can actually go for a second rack and force this buyback down. You're right, this not having a BKB has been
Bottom tower.
basically 4 deaths, I want to say. He has 7 right now, so that's being generous. I feel like. Oh, Tofu, taking a lot of damage. We'll make it back to his fountain, though. And we talked about TA. GH, of course, does have the Aghanim Scepter now, so he's a borrowed piece of dirt. Ridiculous amplification to all his spells, essentially, in one way or another. That is a second set of racks, and now they're just going to go for a throne to try to force this buyback. Yeah, he's going to have to buy back here. Rasmus pops the dragon form, which indicates that they want to go on. Oh, the blink out from Merrick is not even able to get stunned. Rasmus pops the BKB. There's the buyback now from the Storm Spear. He zips in and does basically nothing. Phoenix is done though, but does have buyback as well. By the way, the shard was picked up by Dragon Knight. He already used his fireball. He's dead. And that is a buyback essentially. GH, alright. He's going to get initiated on, but there's the egg on top of him with the Sunray and the red from Ace. It's not going to be enough, so the Phoenix egg is taken out. Ace is going to die as well. Ultra kills for Miracle. And just like that, game 2 comes to an abrupt end. And what the hell?
Yeah, as we know, second Roche, 80% win rate, so when you get that, you obviously lose them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was such a swift punish from Nigma. And again, okay, I'll say one last time, they really took advantage of, like, I think it was a great read from them to just identify, okay, you know what?